It's 6 o'clock, and I'd like to call to order the Code Enforcement Review Board of April 17th, 2024. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
We'll be running roll call. Ms. Miller? Present. Ms. Baldwin? Present. Ms. Westfall?
Present.
Mr. Henson?
Present.
Mr. Schaefer?
Present.
Okay. Approval of minutes. Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes
Ms.
for
Miller?
the March meeting.
March 20th?
Yes.
Yes. There's a motion on the table to approve minutes for March 20th. Is this seconded?
I second that motion.
Thank you.
Ms. Miller? Oh, this is the vote, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Since I was not at the meeting, I should abstain.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes.
Okay. I'm going to read a SERB overview. Tonight, the SERB will hear one case at a time. When called upon, please come up to the podium and state your name and address and relation to the property. If a case is called and the property owner or person who requested the hearing is not here, the SERB board will either table the case for a maximum of one meeting or proceed with the staff recommendation. If the property owner or representative is here tonight, the SERB will begin the hearing by listening to the testimony and viewing the evidence presented by a code enforcement specialist or other representative of Colerain Township. All testimony will be under oath and will be recorded. The property owner or representative can ask questions of the code enforcement specialist. The property owner or representative may then present their testimony, witness, or evidence in opposition to the alleged violations and to show mitigation of violation. During the hearings, the SERB may ask questions of any party or witness. Members of the public may present testimony if relevant to any case during the citizen's address. If you have information which you believe is relevant, please speak up during citizen's address. After hearing all evidence, the SERB may discuss the evidence and testimony presented. After deliberations are held, the SERB may choose to uphold, dismiss, or table the alleged violation. If the SERB chooses to dismiss the violation, the case against the property owner will be dismissed and the hearing will be concluded. If the SERB chooses to uphold the violation, the board will then motion to make a recommendation to the Board of Trustees for formal adoption. If the SERB chooses to table the case, it will be placed on hold. It will be placed on the agenda for a future meeting with the date being set at the time the case is tabled. If a violation is upheld and fees are to be assessed, you have the right to appeal to the Colerain Township Board of Trustees. Your appeal will be during the scheduled meeting where the abatement is on the agenda. Colerain Township Board of Trustees meetings and agendas can be found at www.colerain.org. Okay. Anyone who's here for citizens' address or for one of the cases on our agenda, it's time to swear in at this time.
Anyone who wishes to speak, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony that you're about to give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Okay. The first sign-in is the Williams, but that's against a case. So we'll hear your testimony when your case comes up. The second one is the same thing. Stephanie, you're the first citizen's address.
First, we need a motion to open the
Oh, I'm
citizen address.
sorry.
Yep. Do we have a motion?
I move to open the citizens' address.
Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Motion on the floor. Vote. Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Just had a couple questions about procedure. I've never been sworn in to have a citizen's address before. I was just questioning that. And also, is the roll call going to be in alphabetical order, as according to Robert's rules? Just wondering about that. Last time we had a case that was brought to the attention of the board, and it was stated by employee that the township cut and paid for the grass, and it was not brought to the auditor for abatement. Just wondering if that has been resolved yet, and what the process will be for doing so. And with this process of the abatement, and you all hearing the cases and then being assessed to the auditor, for the past 8 years, it has been an ongoing issue with Mr. Iona and Mr. Miller. Both have been made aware that everything that is put on the agenda and abated, cut, does not make it to the auditor's office to be assessed on property. So as a resident, I'd like to say that if I'm going to be able to get my grass cut for free, how do I sign up for that? I really think more attention to detail needs to be looked into. And also on the curb overview this evening, notice we switched things up a little bit. And I was wondering, a resident or citizen cannot speak or testify unless they have a relationship to the case. Is that correct?
To the property. But thank you.
So a resident who is not related to that may have no input. Is that correct?
No, that is, I don't believe that is what your list here says.
It says members of the public may present testimony if relevant to any case during the citizens' address. So that is my understanding, is that if you want to present, it would have to be during the citizens' address,
And that is
unless
fine.
I'm reading it wrong.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. If you're not related, you can testify, or you can speak during the citizen's address.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. That's the only person that's not a property on the agenda.
Okay. I make a motion that we close the citizens' address.
I'll second it.
Motion on the floor to close the citizen's address. Vote. Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, the first case is old business. It's SERB 24-1 for 6662 Daleview Road.
So this case is one that we started to review at our last meeting, and as a result, we tabled it to send standard mail to the addresses provided. Since the last meeting, we have done that. We have still yet to receive a response. I also, in the packet, added, I corrected a couple typos. I sent the standard mail and updated some photos in your packet. I've also included copies of the letter that was sent at each mailing. And as of today, I have yet to receive a response from the property owner, and the home is still vacant. If you look in your day of photos packet, you can see the most recent photos from earlier this morning.
I make a motion that we go forward with staff's recommendation on 6662 Daleview, and send it to the Board of Trustees for assessing the fines or fees.
I second that motion.
Motion on the floor to accept. Vote. Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, our next case is SERB 24-6 for 2318 Mary Way Lane.
So this case is in regards to a rental eligibility dispute. The owner of record is Sue Melinder. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. We initially sent the letter out indicating that it was a rental on 6/30 of 2023. The second letter was sent February 9th of 2024. The final certified letter was sent April 1st of 2024 with the initial curb date scheduled for the March meeting. There are some communication issues there that have been resolved. We never received any mail back to my knowledge. We do believe it is a rental. The subject property's address differs from the owner's address on the Hamilton County Auditor's records. They're not receiving an owner occupancy tax credit, and there is an owner completed rental registration through the Hamilton County Auditor. You can see in your packet, I attached the note that the property owner delivered to the township. You can see the information from the Hamilton County Auditor's website indicating that they do have an open rental registration, no owner occupancy tax credit, and the difference in address. And then you can see their completed rental registration, the certified mail delivery confirmation, and then again, copies of the letters that they were sent. I've also included photos showing the condition of the property. I know it's a little hard without the projector working, but the first few photos were from last month, and the most recent photos are from this morning. So today's photos will be in your other packet.
Would the homeowner like to speak?
So, we didn't know about this rental unit. Her ex-husband passed away and she received the property, okay? When we hired a lawyer who transferred the property over into her name, we went downtown to Hamilton County and they said that it would have to be a rental unit because we own 2 properties. We said, no, that's not the case. We only have family living there. We've always had family living there to get them on their feet. Ever since we acquired the property, her daughter lived there for 4 years until she got on her feet and got married and moved out and got a house. And then her son lived there, well, her granddaughter before that lived there for a few months until she got out and got on her feet and moved out. And we've always had family there. Her son lived there for 4 years. 3 years? 3.5 years, and lived there. And now he's on his feet, and he's got out. My nephew lived there for, I think about 2-3 months until he could save up his money to get an apartment to move out. And now we have a grandson, and the great-grandkids living there, and we don't rent. We pay the mortgage. They pay their utilities, and that's it. And the insurance company said that also, that we have to have it as a rental unit, which we don't understand. And if there's some paper there saying that it's a rental unit, if you want to go with her signature and the signature that's on the paper, that's fine, because I looked that up online, and it's not the same signature as my wife's signature. Now, maybe somebody did something to be able to get something, to be able to move out and do something that we didn't know about, which would make it illegal, I guess. But all we have is family living there. We don't rent to anybody else. We don't want to rent to anybody else. We want to keep the house so family can use it. And right now, he doesn't work. And he's got his grandkids to take care of, his kids to take care of, our great-grandkids to take care of. So when he gets on his feet and he's able to get out, then we'll think about selling the house. But until then, and this is all we know. See, about 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, I got hit by a car at 70 miles an hour. So my memory's not too good anymore. I was standing outside. I spent 29 hours in trauma, so my memory comes and goes. I don't work. I'm retired now.
I work still.
She works.
I'm 74 years old.
And still
I'm
works.
still working.
So we pay for the house.
And take care of him.
And that's what we've been doing. So we don't rent the place. I don't know how it got listed as a rental. Hamilton County told us that because we own 2 properties that one would have to be a rental. And we're like, why is that? And she wouldn't give us an answer.
I think that that guy, my friend, maybe not, he have cancer.
Right?
He gonna die, so he can't find nobody rent for him, his family. And I told him I get to go ahead. They want me to rent it out, sign to have to be rented out, so I don't kick him out. I told him you can live there until you get well.
Okay,
Then your
well,
wife can work.
Well, we
But
made a
then,
mistake or
his
something like that on there,
girlfriend
but all we do is have family, and we could prove this.
That's what happened, signed, that's what happened. I didn't never rent him, he lived there 6 months free, he passed away. He have cancer.
Okay.
We work in a Maybonnot together, he work in the kitchen. He had the cancer, his girlfriend, he had 3 kids by her, and she left because he's sick. So I can't, I told him, you don't have to pay. I pay everything, electricity, water, everything paid for. Cause someplace he relaxed and passed away. That's what happened.
Okay.
Never rented the house.
We've always had family live there.
He had 5
So-
children, a woman, and 6, 7 people living there. Little one like this.
And we don't wanna rent the place out to strangers. We don't wanna do that. And we need the house occupied,
Right.
you know? So, families are only other choice. We don't make a penny. I'll show you bank records right now.
I'd be happy to pay if that, I have to pay Colerain Township, you know, tax pay. I would like to pay. But
Can I-
my grandchildren need a place to stay.
Go ahead. Can I ask you, did you guys have a chance to look up what the definition of a rental unit is for Colerain Township?
No, I don't have no time.
Would you like me to share that with you? Just, as defined in, resolution number 126-22, just for the record, where I'm pulling the information from. A rental unit is any dwelling unit or rooming unit as defined in this resolution for let or rented by one or more individuals to reside in, held out to be let or rented as a permanent or temporary residence, or resided in by any occupant other than the owner of record. So that's the part, that's how we define a rental unit.
That's how they put it as a rental unit.
Well, this is Colerain Township, I don't know Hamilton County's rules.
Apparently they're the same.
I pay
So,
for the
how can a person own 2 homes and
Well, I didn't know.
if you own 2 homes is what we're saying, what you're saying to me, my understanding is that one has to be a rental. So it's like it's being penalized
We just know that.
because
See that now. That's
we
why
only
I
have
come.
family living.
It's, if it's, all this states is if you're not living there, if the owner of record is not residing, then it becomes a rental unit. Not as saying there was money or that you own more than one home, it's if you're just not residing in that home, according to this resolution. So that's why your house was flagged as being a rental. So it's not vindictive, we're not trying to go after anybody, it's just, because I think it's awesome what you're doing, I really do. Everybody should have a family member like you to help them out.
That's what we've been doing. So
But the resolution states if you're not living there, then it does have to be registered as a
No
rental.
one, they go to welfare help. I don't like them. Just
Yeah.
help whatever I can help.
Yeah, that's wonderful that you can do that.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go? What do we do here?
Nick, can you answer that question a little bit more distinctly?
I mean, are we gonna be having to assess the back fees and penalties, or do we just pay the amount that is supposed to be for the year for the rental?
I bought insurance.
I mean,
That's what she does.
we don't understand. We've never had to do this before.
And this is a new board too, that's why we're all kind of looking at each other, because we're trying to be sure we don't tell you incorrect information.
Right.
So that's,
Yeah,
give me one.
we've never had to come and do this before, so this is all new to us too,
Right.
so.
I think you'll find in your packets, my recommendation is that, they register within 14 days.
That's what I was looking for. That was in my head, but I couldn't find it.
Then it gets passed along to the Board of Trustees where there would be late fees, but we're not looking for that right now.
Can I ask something?
Of course.
If we register as a rental unit, what does that obligate us to do? I mean, what comes back on us? I mean, is there something that, I don't understand? We don't understand. If we register as a rental unit,
Right.
right, does that mean we're obligated to rent it to somebody else?
No,
Oh, okay.
No.
No, this is just showing that it is a rental unit with the township.
Okay.
It doesn't obligate them to continue renting it. It's just letting the township know that it is a rental property. It's a registration process.
Okay,
And who to go to if there are problems.
okay. Now, how do we register that?
You can register online.
Well, we're dinosaurs on a
Okay.
computer, okay?
Is there a time where they're able to do that in person, Nick? Or Officer
Yeah, if I
Hopewell,
can
sorry.
just pass along my card, they can reach out to me directly and I can help them with the process.
I'll be able to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, do we owe anything right now, or do we owe it when
I'd be happy to
we
pay.
register?
At the time you register.
At the time? Okay.
Okay. So I don't have to kick
Because
my
we never-
grandson out.
Absolutely,
Absolutely
not
not.
unless you choose to.
He got 7 people need that place to stay. Little one, little one, little one, little one, little one. I got a couple of complaints on my grandkid, this and that neighborhood.
Great
I
grandkids.
told him, I'm so sorry, that can't go nowhere.
If you add it up on your hands, I think there's 23 between us.
That's
of
awesome.
Family and grandkids and great grandkids, maybe more than that.
No, I got step
We
grandkids,
could,
total
you know,
17 grandkids.
right.
Madam President,
Thank you so much for being here today, you guys.
Okay, we need
I'd like to also recommend that we give them a copy of Resolution 126-22 so they can read it over to make sure they understand what the registration's for and the rental unit maintenance standards of the township, so there's no confusion.
Nick, can you arrange for them to get a copy of the rental resolution so they are clear on what their obligations are?
I can.
Thank you.
And Nick, I didn't see it under that resolution. Maybe it's.
I can point out where it is. I marked
Okay,
it for that
what
reason.
what is the charge, annual charge for registering your rental unit?
For registering a single-family unit, it is $50 for that calendar year.
I say,
For that calendar year, yes.
long as my grandchildren know that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we proceed with the owners. Make a motion that we proceed with the owners to register and pay the registration fee and remove any other fines or fees and pass that along to the Board of Trustees.
I second that.
The motion on the table is to accept the staff recommendation. Vote. Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Baldwin,
Yes.
Ms. Westfall,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We're on to new business, SERB 24-7 for property at 11305 Gravenhurst Lane.
So this is also a rental dispute case. The owner of record is James McDonald. I have talked with him last night and early today. He is not available to be here tonight anymore. He planned on it. He has decided that he also has family living in the home. He has decided that he would like to essentially deed or sell the property to the family member that's living there. So I can go over everything if you guys want, but my recommendation and what, he also asked is that, we give him, a little bit of time to complete that process.
Did he say how much time he needed?
So he was supposed to be meeting with his attorney today to get the process started. Now, I do know that as far as Hamilton County recording the sale or the transfer and everything, that can take a little bit longer to happen than some of us would probably like. So my recommendation would maybe be that you guys table this until the June meeting, at which time if, the process has gone through.
I forgot our attorney's name. But Matt. If you were doing this for someone, how long would you tell them it would take before this was done? And thinking of a typical lawyer's backlog. Would 3 months be more logical?
I think it depends on the lawyer. If you, how long did he make any mention to you?
No, I think he's unfamiliar with how long it would take. He said he was going to meet with his attorney today, and I just requested that, if they have something sooner than May, show up on the auditor's website, that they just send us proof of the transfer.
If it's just transfer, it shouldn't be that complicated.
Right.
So, if you guys want, I can also reach out. Did he give you the name of the lawyer?
No.
Okay.
Well, if you had a feeling, is 2 months plenty of time, or should we give them 3? Okay.
But, it's whatever you guys want to do. I can't say for certain how long it's gonna take somebody to do things when they're dealing with transfers of property and dealing with government agencies. I'll tell you right now, I've never done that type of work before in terms of transferring property, so.
We can always revisit it if
Okay.
there's still a problem in June. But I think 60 days is a good start. What's everybody else think?
What's the date on that?
That'd be June 19th. I move that we table this discussion until for 11305 Gravenhurst, until the June 19th meeting.
I second that motion, that move.
Motion on the floor to accept, to table this discussion to the June 19th meeting. Vote. Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, our next case is SERB 24-8. That's for the property at 3191 2C Preserve Lane.
Okay. So the owner of record on this property is LBLS Real Estate LLC. The registered agent is William R. Glines. We sent the initial letter on June 30th of 2023. The second letter was sent February 9th of 2024. There was no final certified letter sent. We have communicated with the owner on the phone and I believe through email. Evidence indicating a rental. The subject property address differs from the owner's address per the Hamilton County Auditor records. There is no owner occupancy tax credit, and the owner has completed a rental registration through the Hamilton County Auditor. You can see in your packet pictures from the auditor for the property summary, the rental registration, and from Frank LaRose for the registered agent information. And then you can see copies of the letters that were sent. And then the front picture of the building.
I assume that you're the owner. We need your name and address, please.
I am William Glines. I'm the managing partner for LBLS Real Estate.
Thank you.
We own multiple properties in Hamilton County. That property was originally a rental property when we bought it. My wife and I have a home care company, and we rent to a lot of our home care clients because they're on fixed incomes. So it's a way for us to kind of give back to those folks who are mostly disabled and on fixed Social Security fixed income. Subsequent to buying the property, I rented it to one of our home care clients, and then they moved out a couple of years ago. And my son moved in. He asked me if he could move in. His girlfriend was pregnant at the time. And so they moved in 2 or 3 years ago, like the prior case, family situation. They've since had my grandson. They still live there in the unit. I don't charge them rent. Again, like the prior case, just trying to get them on their feet, just help them until they're ready to kind of be on their own fully. So I'm not ruling out renting to them down the road, because that's the goal, is for them to be independent. But at the moment, it's not a rental. And then I was listening to Ms. Baldwin, read that resolution, which I hadn't read or seen before I came tonight. And I was thinking about it as you read that, and I think I'm probably standing here because of, unintended consequences of that resolution. And I say that because most of the condo associations in town, in their bylaws and their regulations, if they have a lot of them will have rental prohibitions in their bylaws, but they can't prohibit a family member from living in a condominium, but they can, prohibit other people. So I just mentioned that for what it's worth, because I'm thinking that maybe over time that resolution will be amended to maybe include a situation like this for family. The other thing I think about is the old CPA in me. I'm retired now, but when I used to do tax returns, there would be a profit motive that was required for something to show up on a tax return as a business operation. Anybody who's got children that they support, I think you would agree with me that there's no profit motive when you're supporting your children. It's usually the other way around.
If you step back from the mic a little, I
Sure.
think it'd be easier for us to hear your little.
Okay.
Good, that's better. Thank you.
Is there something you didn't hear?
No, I heard it.
Okay.
It was just hard.
Okay. So, that's kind of where I'm at with this. So it's not about the $50, to me. It's more about the principle of it. So is there any negotiation or wiggle room or discussion at this point, given the reading of the resolution?
I'd say you're welcome to go to the Board of Trustees and recommend a change to the resolution, but as it stands now, we have to go by what's currently in place.
Okay. I thought that was what you're going to say. Okay. You've already heard two people tonight with the same issue, so I think that's probably necessary. So I guess I'll do that. Don't want to do it, but I will do it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. He's saying letter address.
Okay.
Thank you for honoring my Fifth Amendment right to speak. Question I have on the property that was just presented on Preserve Way. The gentleman spoke that he would like some kind of a substitution because it was a family member that lived there. I wondered if the staff noticed on that Hamilton County Auditor site that he owns 3 properties in that, and I was wondering if all 3 of those are occupied by family members as well. Thank you.
Are your other properties registered with Colerain Township?
Yes, now they are.
Okay.
It's just the one. There are 2 units in the preserve. One is rented.
Okay.
Is it registered with the township as a rental?
It should be.
I know you say it's registered with Hamilton County, correct?
I registered the one that the family's living in too. I just didn't pay the fee on that one. Paid the fee on the other.
Okay.
So you just have the 2 properties in Colerain Township that are registered? One isn't, one is?
3. Pebblebrook.
If you look at the,
I'm sorry?
Gary, on
Okay.
If you look
on the Hamilton County one, it's got all 3 properties listed,
Okay.
just for reference for you.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to make a comment.
Sure.
I think when this resolution was adopted, that it looks like they followed through with the wording that Hamilton County uses. And I believe you're the one that said, you know, this brings up unintended consequences, that I think if I had a place in Florida and a condo back here, if I stayed in Florida 7 months of the year, that would be my legal address. And I'd have to say the condo that only I stay in Hamilton County and Colerain Township would have to be listed as a rental unit. That does seem a little bit strange, but we aren't the body that makes the ruling, or that makes the law. So, but I do think that's something that probably should be addressed, especially since, you know, 3 of the cases today were exactly that issue. Okay, that's all.
Okay.
I'd like to move that we accept the staff recommendation for 3191 2C Preserve Lane, to have it registered as a rental property within 14 days to avoid any other late fees or other fees.
I second it.
Motion on the floor to accept staff recommendations. Vote. Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. A motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Our next meeting will be the 15th of May. And
Oh, sorry. A motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting. Vote. Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Adjourned at 6:00.